Hey everybody, we'll give everybody a couple minutes to join. Hope you had a good week. Hope your weekend's going well. Hey Justin, hey Lester. Hey Colorado Adventure Club. Hey Renee. Thanks for sending in those photos. Good evening, Eduardo. How are you? Hey, Jeff. Everything's going well. How are things with you? Hey Joe, welcome back to the stream. We still got some people coming in. We'll wait another minute or so and then we'll get started. All right, how's everybody doing this evening? What's the latest rumor on what Bambu Labs is gonna announce? That's still on here. I've had a lot of comments. I have not seen the news on the new printer. I've heard about it though. I've heard that there's a new printer on its way, which I think we all talked about. We kind of thought it would be coming. The A1, I think, is what it's called, or something like that. Is that what you're talking about, Colorado Adventure Club? And then I think it's a new AMS and AMS system or whatever, and maybe one that you can put on any 3D printer, right? If it says colorful 3D printing for everyone, and I think we talked about that the last time. And then Lester says, I saw NBR and he's saying it's a smaller format printer. It's a smaller one. It's looking like that sucks. Well, hopefully it's an AMS that fits on other printers and we can all go get a larger format printer or something. But yeah, I'm not interested in a smaller printer. Like I run into problems with the size of this thing all the time. Yeah, same there, Alistair. I give them about as much weight as they should deserve, right? They're just trying to cause some buzz or whatever. Yeah, I stay away from the rumors. I'm just going to wait until Wednesday. Yeah, we'll see what they come out on Wednesday, right? We all have our thoughts, feelings. I'm sure some of it's right, some of it's wrong. All of that. I'd really like an X1 Max with 2 heads. Yeah, so I'm wondering what this is going to be. You know, if you can get the color change, if you can get that a lot more efficient, then you don't need 2 heads unless you want to print 2 things, you know, at the same time. If you're doing some, print farm stuff, that would be awesome. But to do more efficient color changes, right? Something I think like the palette. And this is what it kind of looks like, right? It's showing 4 colors going in and there's some sort of thing there or whatever. So we'll see what it is. You want to print TPU with support. See, that would be nice, but you can't print anything else with TPU, right? Because it can't go through the AMS. And I can I can tell you that it does not go through the AMS. I tried to run some through the AMS, and I had to take, that was where I learned how to take the AMS completely apart and get that TPU out of there because it was not budging. So don't do that. Don't be like me. The other thing that I saw on here, new wise, I don't know if we talked about this before, but I saw that they now have this PA6 carbon fiber on here. And then Colorado Adventure Club says, I think it's just a smaller printer. There's a few really good speculations out there. Smaller printer makes the most sense. Yeah, but it doesn't mean that that's the only thing. And that's where I go back to Alistair, what he said. And, you know, you could, yeah, if it's a smaller printer and a larger printer, right? The people that all said it was a smaller printer were half right and half wrong. Right? So who knows, right? Hopefully it's not just a smaller printer with as many people that have said that, but that may be part of what they're putting out there, right? Maybe it's a more cost-effective version of the X1C called the A1, and maybe they're going to have an X2C, which is a larger one. Who knows? We'll wait till Wednesday and we'll see what's on there. But for things that we do know, they put out this PA6 carbon fiber, which is supposed to be super duper strong, superior strength, toughness and vibration resistance, and exceptional thermal resistance. So I have a project where thermal resistance, in the next, future, we'll see a project where I need some stuff that's going to be thermal resistant. So that's pretty cool. The other thing that I was thinking here is this might make a great drone frame. So I did order some of this and it's coming in. So in the next couple of weeks, I'll do a review on this filament as well. But I did see this and it looks pretty cool, and it does have some pretty high temperature resistance. And Eduardo Bambu Lab no longer has a 25% discount. Yep, I saw that as well. That was the other new thing. So this PA6 carbon fiber, I did get a half roll for $43. I did get one of those on there. Feel free to tip. Just kidding. Feel free to hit me up on Patreon for these $43 rolls of filament here. But I did get some of that so that we could test it out. But I thought it would be good for the drone frame and for a project that I'm doing coming up. So pay attention to that, or be on the lookout for that. And yeah, like Eduardo said, there's no more 25% discount, and there's no more sale little link right up here. Remember, they had like the bundles of all the extruders and all of that stuff. That's no longer there either. And this is the newest thing that I saw on there. Unless I'm missing something, call it out if I'm missing something, but that's all I saw as far as that. And then what we'll be printing with tonight is, where is the metal? There it is. We will be printing with this stuff. The brown, copper brown metallic is what we'll be printing with tonight. And then Justin says, yeah, I got the last batch of filament ordered prior to the sale going off, but I think they lowered the price to $24.99 per spool instead of $27.99 per spool. I think the 24 is for a refill normal price. Let's go to the basic here. I think for a refill it's $24.99, and with the spool is $27.99. All right, so let's go to what we'll be printing tonight. And this is a fractal vase. And this is a way of printing that I've talked about, I think once, maybe twice, but we've never done it. So we're going to print the spiral vase thing or whatever with this in that copper bronze or whatever, copper brown metallic or whatever that color is. So if you want to print this one, I left the link in the description as well. So let's go ahead and pull up the studio and we'll get this started. Then we'll get into some pictures. So I did load it in here and I did scale it down with this button right up here. I did scale it down to 50%, just so that it's going to take about an hour to print. That way we could see the majority of it print during the stream tonight. And as you can see, I have the Bambu PLA metal selected right up there. And we're going to be doing this on the textured plate, on the gold one. So we'll see how that goes. And then what it says, let's go back to the website here. And then what it says for printing is to use 0.3 millimeter. We're not going to do that. But it says to print in spiral or vase mode. Reason I'm not going to do 0.3 millimeter is I went to the makes and comments, and always kind of do your research on these prints and read what people say on here about this stuff. But somebody had mentioned that the 0.3 layer height wasn't good enough, than that they had wished they'd done the smaller layer height. So we'll leave it at 0.2 layer height right here. But what it does say to change is to spiral mode, and that's over here in other in studio here. And it's right down here under special mode. So if you remember, we've been going over here and printing by object. Well, just below that is this spiral vase. So when you click on that, it brings up a warning and it says spiral mode only works when wall loops is 1, support is disabled, top shell layers is 0, sparse infill density is 0, and time lapse type is traditional. Change these settings automatically, yes or no. And I would click yes on that. Otherwise, you got to go and change all of that stuff yourself. The other thing that I would do, and I've already done this, is once it changes everything, you'll see this little asterisk right here, and you'll see this little arrow turns red to undo all of the changes that it just did. I would go ahead and hit the save button and save that as the spiral vase setup, which is what I did here. Okay. So make sure that you do that and you just hit save and click all of that stuff over there. And that changes all of this wall loops and all of that stuff. And I went ahead and changed that just like I did for the arcane walls or whatever. Anytime you have a special setup here, go ahead and save that special setup over here so that you can refer to it the next time, but you can also go back to your normal setup. All right, so we want our spiral vase setup, and I already have that saved in here. So we'll go ahead and slice this. And when I looked at it earlier, being 50% scale, it only took about an hour. Yeah, a little over an hour. And as you can see all the way down into the bottom. So it's doing just the walls only is what the spiral vase thing does. So I think it's just going to, just go in a circle like that. And this is a fractal pattern, which is pretty cool. So if you've ever seen this pattern before, then you know it's a fractal. And then that's going and twisting and doing all that. So it's pretty cool looking vase. So if you're looking for a cool project, this is a really cool one. And look at what it looks like when you spin it. It's so cool. All right, so let's go ahead and get that going. Has anybody else out there done the spiral vase mode before? And then Garth says, that was a decent sell. I bought more than normal from them. Same here. I stocked up on a good amount of all the colors that I print a lot. I've done that. Yeah, I haven't yet either, Jeff. So everybody tonight, live stream failure probably coming up here in a minute. This is the first time I've ever done the spiral vase. We're just clicking the thing over here. I ain't changing anything else. We're just clicking spiral vase and we're rolling with this. So that's the way, that this thing is kind of advertised. So that's the way we're going to roll with it tonight. Yeah, Colorado Adventure Club, how did it turn out whenever you printed with the spiral vase mode? So we'll go ahead and hit print. We'll save the time lapse. Maybe we'll watch that next week. And then Justin, I saw the option, but have not tried it yet. I also have the metal filament, but again, haven't used it yet. I've printed a couple of samples with the metal, Justin, but I haven't printed an actual object with it yet. So this will be the first on that one as well. And Steven, send it. Yeah. That's how the TPU wound up in the AMS. I don't read the instructions. We just go for it. And I threw that stuff in there and it loaded it all crazy too. And then it was like, oh yeah, we can't use that. And then it got stuck and it wouldn't come out. And I was yanking on it and it wouldn't come out. So like I said, that's how I learned how to take the AMS apart for the first time. That was on day 3 or 4 of having the printer. Oh, one thing I wanted to show you guys, if you notice in my first AMS, and I did order some more desiccant or whatever because I haven't done the conversion yet, you'll see that this is orange, right? So it needs to be green when it shows that there's the proper humidity levels in there. And these little bars are going down. I don't know how well you can see here, but these bars on this one are going down. So this one's getting close, but this one's already orange. So be sure that you pay attention to that as you're monitoring your prints and everything, that you look at your little AMS thing and make sure that you, change your desiccant, or if you have the conversion where you can use the reusable desiccant, that you're going and drying out the desiccant. Good, but it was a simple object. I think this is a pretty simple object as well. It's just a little fractal vase, but we'll see how it goes. And then Justin, you keep yours at 10% with the humidity meter. And the AMS, what is that, a hygrometer? Is that what a humidity meter is? I think it's a hygrometer, something like that. I printed a couple desiccant holders to fit in the AMS space. Yeah, I need to do that. And I would recommend anything that you're going to print, and this is just a heads up for everybody out there that's watching, right? This is just a tip, just kind of, if you think about it, it's kind of common sense. Anything that you put in this chamber probably needs to be like ABS, PC, ASA, PAHT, any of these high temperature things, because there's going to be a high temperature in here. If you ever print anything that goes inside of here, make sure that you print it out of that type of material. In the AMS, you're not going to find those high heat or any of that type of stuff. But if you ever print anything that goes inside of here, make sure that you account for the heat that's going to be generated in there. And I just keep meaning to do the desiccant trays, and I would do those out of maybe PC would be a good one to do that out of. And Justin, those work great. Yeah, I keep needing to do that. And then Jeff, I placed an order for the desiccant beads today, and I'm making some desiccant holders for the AMS now. You know, maybe that's a good project for printing next week. You guys remind me to print desiccant trays for my AMS next week. That would be good. And then Garth, good to know about the humidity sensor. I tend to ignore all the little icons and I don't understand them. That is why I mention it. It's not something that I often pay attention to, and honestly, I don't know how long Garth, I don't honestly know how long that's been orange. I just noticed it a little while ago, and I was like, oh, but I do have an order of that PA6 carbon fiber coming, and I ordered some desiccant packs with that, and it'll be here, I think, Monday or Tuesday. So I'll go ahead and change those out. So good thing I had done that. But yeah, pay attention to those little things, and be sure if you have multiple AMSs to check both. And, you know, just every once in a while, make sure you're checking, you know, everything that's going on. Make sure everything looks correct in there. And then Alistair, has anyone played with the Hughes Forge as of yet? Not, yeah, that we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. I haven't. I think Colorado Adventure Club and a couple of other people on here have. Feel free to comment for Alistair on the Hughes Forge stuff. And then Joe, I also printed the desiccant holders to fit in the front space between the feeders. The middle one has a hygrometer space. Nice. Finally replaced my nozzle, got 7 months out of it. Yeah, see, that's what I was saying. I forget who was asking last week when they were, you know, talking about the proprietary parts and all of that. Like, yeah, if I had to change that nozzle like I did on my Creality, I would be upset that they're $15. But when you get 7 solid months, and I've seen your prints, Colorado Adventure Club, so 7 solid months of super high quality prints for $15, that's the type of stuff that you can keep proprietary. I'm just saying. I'm waiting on Colored Filament to try it out. Nice. But yeah, that's great. 7 months out of a nozzle. Does anybody else have any comments on the Hugh Forge or any comments on how long that they've used their nozzles? My current nozzle, the one that it's printing right now, ooh, that thing's been on there a solid 3 months or more. Yeah, it was easy using the replacement deal too. I don't know why people cry about it. It's easy. Yeah, and like I recommend getting an extra extruder, an extra fan, maybe even 2, just so you have another 0.4 nozzle, but you know, just have a 0.6 nozzle set up, because if you have the nozzle set up, it's what? You take the front cover off, 3 screws, and then that one little screw for the little lever thing to move the blade back. And you pull it out, unplug the 4 wires, plug it back in, 3 more screws, put the little lever thing back in. It takes like 2 minutes. It's super duper easy. And yeah, when you're getting months and months out of a nozzle, how long were people getting on their nozzles on Crealities and Enders and all of that? I was getting, man, if I got a month out of that nozzle, I thought I was doing good. But most of the time it would burn up on the end all crazy and clog up, and then it wouldn't flow right, and I'd have to take it off. I was constantly changing nozzles on that. Thank God they were cheap. Like, again, if they were $15 for those stupid nozzles, I'd be super mad. All right, and it looks like we have some more pictures of prints coming in, but I have some already. And then while this is getting ready, we'll take a look at this one from Garth, who said something about, let me go to the email here. After watching the video on the stream on a seemingly impossible print, Garth, I thought the same thing when I saw this. I was like, there's no way it's going to print. And to print it on the back side like that, I thought there was no way. I just had to try it. So I ordered the gradient PLA and printed it. Wow, it came out great. Everyone that I've shown it to has been shocked that home 3D printing has gotten this good. Yeah, my mom stole this from me, and it's hers now, and she's got one of the little sheep that I printed out for her under there. So yeah, definitely seemingly impossible print that was really good to go. And I'm glad that I inspired you to print that out, Garth. That's pretty cool. That's one of the reasons why I have this channel. Hopefully I can inspire some people, and I'll go out here and fail for you guys and then you can do it right. So now let's look at one from Renee. Super cool Death Star there. Renee, what did you print this out of? And then Justin says, after the announcement, depending on what it is, I will be getting a second AMS and printing a dual stand for it so I can have both sitting beside the printer in a vertical configuration. Yeah, I've tried a couple of different ways of doing that, Justin. I'd like to do the same thing, but what ends up happening is opening and closing the lid and having that be somewhat easy to do, and then loading the filament in the bottom one. Yeah, without making the top one so tall that you can't then look down. Yeah, so let me know what you come up with on that, Justin, because I've been bouncing a bunch of ideas around on there, and I haven't come up with the right solution, I don't think, yet. White PLA. Yeah, Colorado Adventure Club, I knew you would like this one with the LEDs. And then I'm making another Lord of the Rings type deal with the lights. Awesome. And then Renee also printed the hand. Yeah. Oh, that one's with marble too, right? Oh, that looks really cool in the marble. So Sunlu sent me some more filament, and I have an interesting idea to make these type of things even cooler. So make sure you hit that subscribe and like button, because we're going to take this to the next level, I think, in a couple of weeks. So thank you for sending those prints in, gentlemen. And then let's see, Jeff sent in, let me get these downloaded real quick. Some Superman. I guess that's a light. Oh, that looks really cool with the reflection on there. That's super cool. Where did you get that design from? More lights for you, Colorado Adventure Club. That one looks really cool. What is that printed with, and where did you get the design? Oh, you sent Maker World. Let me see if I can. Yeah, that looks really cool. Let me see if I can put that in the chat, actually, for everybody. Yeah, this one looks really cool. And is that one single print, one single multicolor print, Jeff? And you made it. Wow. What'd you make it in? What I'm looking for 3D software right now. Specifically right now I'm looking at Fusion 360, maybe Onshape or something like that. But do you use something like that, Jeff? Three prints, one multicolor. Let's see, like a stand, maybe an outer ring, and then this bottom piece or something like that. Fusion 360. Awesome. I've been messing around with it. I have the trial version, Colorado Adventure Club, but yeah, I'd like to bring it over. I'd like to learn a little bit more. I think I'm gonna pull the trigger on. I kind of like Fusion 360. It's kind of hard to learn at first, but there's some really cool things that it does that I do like now that I'm getting the hang of it. And then Lester, I teach Fusion 360. I'm happy to give pointers. Interesting. Maybe we can do like a monthly live stream or something. Lester, if you're interested in doing something like that, I'd be interested in like being a student like once a month or something like that on live stream or podcast or something like that. That'd be really cool. And Jeff, I'm learning Fusion 360 still. Yeah, you're doing pretty good. I just messed around with it. I wanted to see if I could print my own case or, design my own case and print my own case for a Raspberry Pi. And I was able to do that and, cut out the little holes where all the little plugs were and all of that, learning all of that and constraints and all of that stuff. So yeah, leave a comment if you'd like to have like a monthly, maybe like 3D class or something like that. Lester, if you want to help with that, that would be awesome. Other people, that would be awesome. Use Blender. One of my other friends says that he uses Blender as well. Somebody else that I know uses Inventor. And I'm a 3D artist by trade. Yeah, so I heard like Blender is for more artistic stuff, right? But I've printed a few things I made in Blender and they've worked decently also. Yeah, then we'll have to set something up to start everybody learning how to do more 3D modeling and stuff. Because once you kind of get the, what is it called, parametric modeling or something, what is that called, where you kind of sketch and extrude and do all of that? And then Garth, I like Fusion 360, but when I don't use it for months, I have to relearn much of it. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff with it, but once you kind of get the hang of it, it's pretty powerful. Yeah, I heard Colorado Adventure Club. I heard learning Blender is a lot different than Fusion. I've heard of it. And then Justin Plasticity. Yeah, like, yeah. Yeah, that's a good way of putting the difference, right? Instead of having all the constraints and all of that stuff, and you're more free, I guess, in Blender, but more plasticity or whatever. That's a great way of putting it. That's awesome. That's really great print. Thank you for sending that in, Jeff. So let's see what else we have on board here. Let's check in on our print real quick. Oh, looking good, looking good. No live stream fails on the fractal print just yet, so we're doing good tonight. All right, let me download a couple more prints here. And these are from Eduardo. That one's really cool. Was all of this one print, or did you print like the green and then the bamboo? And I'm guessing these were a different print. But was this little stand? I'm guessing this was done in pieces. In Colorado Adventure Club, I like parametric. Lester, yeah, it's parametric. You can put it in parameters, and once you have a design dialed in, you can just change the parameters to suit your designs, like in Gridfinity. Yeah, that's the part that I like about it the most. Like once you kind of get stuff dialed in, then you can once you change one thing, like everything adapts to that change or whatever. And I like the timeline or whatever. I think is really cool. I figured the panda was a different print, as well as the lemur or whatever. But was this in a different print, or was this all one print? That looks super intricate to do a crazy one like that. And then Garth, I got the bamboo anti-vibration feet. Does anyone know if you're supposed to remove the existing feet? I think so. Yes, I believe so, and I actually think it says that somewhere. I put those on. I didn't like them. I was not a fan of them, Garth, but I think it does say on there somewhere that you're supposed to remove the old feet. Let's see. I could have Garth somewhere. I could. Oh yeah, see, it shows it in this little video, taking off the old feet and then putting the new ones on. And see, those look different than the ones that I got. If you look up here, these are the ones that I got. They just look like this. But if you look in that video, see how it has that weird little thing on there? Mine don't have that thing on there. So that's weird. But long story short, you do need to remove them, Garth. And then Alistair, I do not like mine, so I went back to the original. Same here, but mine didn't have this little piece there. I didn't think it removed any vibration, at least for me, right? I got killed in the comments on this, but at least for me, like it didn't reduce any vibrations or noise or anything um, like that. So, but again, mine didn't have this little thing right there. So Garth, follow the video and install them and let us know how it goes. Let's see if it's any different. Maybe it's worth retrying them. Alistair, I don't know. I'll let you know, but I didn't like them. I didn't do a video on them. I was going to do a video on them, but I didn't like them and I pulled them right off, and I didn't even do the video. If I don't like something, I'm not going to make a video on it. I'm not going to go out there and bash somebody and make a video to bash somebody. But if I don't like something, I'm not going to make a video on it. And I might make a comment about it, but I'm not going to make a video bashing somebody. Yeah, see, Justin, I couldn't get my VB feet to stay on. Mine didn't have the peg either. Yeah, it didn't seem like it fit in there. I took everything off, like it said. And, like it didn't have this video before, Garth, when I bought mine. And it said something about removing them or whatever. There were some instructions on there. I can't remember exactly what it said. But it didn't feel like they were in there right. You know what I mean? And they wouldn't stay like in place if I lifted up on the printer or whatever. So I don't know. Maybe this new design, Garth, you're going to have to let us know how this goes. Maybe this new design works better. But I had the same experience, Justin, Alistair, same experience. Yeah, and Alistair, yours didn't have the slots on it. Mine didn't either. Maybe those are not for the X1C. Yeah, this is a P1P. But there's not, is there a difference? No, it says and X1 series and P1P. Version 2, version 1. See that we got version 1, Alistair. Nah, it's not for the P1P only. It's the same. There's a version 1 and a version 2. I have version 1 and those ones don't get those ones. Those ones suck. And there's a version 2. So, yeah, it looks like these are going to be something I need to try. Thanks for bringing that up, Garth. You took us down a nice little rabbit hole where we all just learned something, I think, right now. So there's a version 2. Yeah, same, Jeff. I got version 1. I may have to try version 2 now. Justin, version 1, which is weird because I got my printer like 2 weeks ago. That's crazy. I have not seen these ever on here. Does anybody else know when these came out? I haven't seen these on here. They slipped under my radar, but I haven't been looking for anti-vibration feet, though. So, Justin, it could very well be that these just came out. That looks like it. I never saw them, or if you weren't paying attention. But whenever I clicked on this, it defaulted to version 2. It defaulted to this picture, but version 2 was selected. Interesting. All right, let me download a couple more pictures here. And then tell us about this one, Colorado Adventure Club. It's called, I think, Skittle V2. You've been talking about the boat that you've been messing around with. And then Jeff, I like how the feet raise the printer up so I can store my bill plates under it. I agree. It does free up. It does lift it up to free up some space under there to do some stuff. And then Garth, I don't even see a V2 option on Canadian site. Interesting. See if you can do a global. Switch the store over to global and see if you can do that. Then Colorado Adventure Club, M-Jet Sprint. It's a very good file. Yeah, it looks cool. A good idea to raise the printer for build sheet storage. Yep. Maybe somebody can even make a little divider or something in Fusion 360 to go up under there. And then Colorado Adventure Club. This is made out of PETG and PC carbon fiber. What brand of filament? And you need to bring this tired 2x4 over here to my wood shop and we'll make it look pretty. Let me download some more pictures. Or actually, let's check in on the print real quick. Still going. So 50% scale is 500 layers. But yeah, it does just go around and around, right? That's pretty cool. And then Colorado Adventure Club, Sun Lu, and 3D X Tech. Then Garth, global site doesn't have V2, but I see it on the US site. Maybe it'll show up for me in a few weeks. Yeah, it looks like it's brand new. I've never seen it on there, but I haven't really been paying attention either, so I don't know how accurate my site on that is. And then Justin here sent us some pictures of Neil Armstrong print that look pretty cool. Let's take a look at these. And Justin, where did these files come from? That looks really cool. And what did you print this out of? And is this painted afterwards, or looks like it's painted? Colt 3D black PLA. Wow, that looks really nice. Then Lester, how do you get such clear images on your build volume? I turned up the resolution and it still looks blocky. I'm not sure I understand what you're asking there, Lester. Silver leaf rub and buff, very lightly applied. Yeah, that makes it look like metal kind of. Oh, of when I'm looking at the printer. Is that what you're talking about, Lester? So I have a pretty strong Wi-Fi network, and it does very well. So if your Wi-Fi network can't handle a whole lot of traffic, that could be the issue. One thing that you could try, Lester, is I don't know if this shows up on screen when I do this. Let's see. Yeah, one thing that you can try is moving it down to 720p. All right, let's take a look at some more pictures of Neil Armstrong here. Yeah, that rub and buff that you put on there, Justin, that looks really good. It adds just the right highlights to everything on there. Looks really good. You maxed out your internet. Yeah, it's really, it comes down to your router and how much traffic that your router can handle, Lester. And you're right, it goes through the cloud. Even the local isn't as good either when you do the LAN. It's not always as great, but it is how much can be sent out and brought back, and what the latency is. So you might want to look at what the latency to your antennas are, Lester, because that's generally where you get the blockiness is what's called buffering, right? So what's happening is the reason why these turn blocky and start buffering is it can't transmit enough information to fill in all of these pixels in here, so it starts to make the pixels bigger. So that's why you see blocks around this or whatever, because it's not getting enough information. So somewhere there's a bandwidth issue. So there's some latency generally between your antennas or whatever. And since this is on the 2.4 gigahertz network, right, that's not as fast and it doesn't have as much bandwidth as a 5 gigahertz network. Yeah, my home has a lot of IoT devices. I don't use Bambu Cloud. So every time you log in something to your network, right, you're now splitting that network connection to some degree. So I have 4 access points throughout my house that handle that type of stuff a lot better, and they all dump traffic off to each other, and they're all connected back to a switch with the 1 gig Ethernet wire. So I have a ton of IoT stuff as well, but I don't get that much latency on there because I have 4 different access points. I wish I had a physical Ethernet connection, correct. I do not do mesh, Lester, but you could do that. The problem with mesh is that's a chain of antennas, right? So it's still only one connection to some degree when it comes back to the end. So you're extending, with the mesh, you're extending your coverage, but you're not extending the bandwidth of the coverage that you have, if that makes sense. So I actually have 4 wired access points throughout my house, 2 on each floor. I have a basement and a main floor. And I have those access points, 2 on each one, which is complete overkill, but I don't have bandwidth issues at all. And everything is very, very close to an antenna. So as a matter of fact, where this printer is, in the ceiling 12 to 15 feet away is a Wi-Fi 6 access point that has a 1 gig hard line directly back to my router, or to a switch actually. So you have to be careful with that. If you have a bunch of stuff on your network, that's why you'll get the blocky stuff, is there's not enough bandwidth to pass all of the pixel information. That was a really long explanation of that. Sorry. Yeah, that turned out really good. And then Lester, okay, I should maybe update some of my internet gear. Yep. And then Justin says, I am surprised the X1C is 2.4 gigahertz instead of 5 gigahertz. It's new enough. I totally agree. It should have been 5 gigahertz. Totally agree. But I assume they did 2.4 for cost savings. I would imagine. I would imagine. I would imagine. It boggles my mind why it's on the 2.4 gigahertz network. And then Lester, so if you have a whole bunch of other Internet of Things or IoT things on your network and you want to update your gear, one thing you might want to look at is maybe just another router, like a cheap router that you can broadcast a second network on. And you could isolate it that way. Or if you want a good design of a completely overkill and super nerdy network, I use Ubiquiti, which is really good. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before, but Ubiquiti is, if you want the craziest, most awesome network that you could have in your home, this is the one to get. And it all starts with this Dream Machine Pro, which is what I have right now. If you're getting a new one, I would get the special edition one here. But this is your gateway. It has a slot for a hard drive for your video cameras. So I have 9 cameras around my house, and they all go to a switch that then plugs into this, but everything revolves around this. You have switches that do power over Ethernet, so you can run cameras and access points and all of that. But Lester, if you ever want like the nerdiest thing in the world there, I can put this together like I'm doing it. But what's cool about this is like all the cameras and stuff that I have all go through this network, and they all get saved onto this gateway right here that has a hard drive, and nothing goes through the cloud, but I can log into every one of those cameras from wherever. And Alistair uses a Ubiquiti as well. Yeah, it's the nerdiest stuff in the world. But like if you want the end all be all of your Wi-Fi network, and then whenever they come out with the new type of Wi-Fi, right, then you just buy a new little puck. So I just have 4 of these AC pucks, or no, 4 of the U6 pucks around my house that all have Wi-Fi 6. And then Eduardo, his son, also did the same system for Wi-Fi in his house. I also have 4 access points. Yeah, so these access points you all can run back to a switch that has power over Ethernet. And what that means is you can power that device. It doesn't need to be plugged in other than just an Ethernet point or an Ethernet plug, right? An RJ45. So you get one of these switches, and then you can plug in your 4 pucks in there, and then they're powered and they run internet through there from that one cable. And then you can get cameras. They have all these cameras. These bullet cameras is what I have as well. And you get these bullet cameras, and they all run back to that same switch, and they do the same thing with that power over Ethernet. And they're powered and send video over that. So if you want the absolute best that you can do, that's the, from what, other than going with like Citrix or something like that and doing like completely professional networking, this is as close to that as you'll get. And it works really, really well. And then, wow, thanks for the super chat there, Lester, for the internet knowledge. You're welcome on there. But yeah, if anybody ever needs any help on designing these things, just let me know. I can help you, or at least tell you what I've put together and the reasons why I put all that stuff together. And that's why I don't want to pay Ring or whatever every month and they own all the video or whatever and do all that nonsense. This is a much better way to go. I control everything. I can upgrade it at any time. I can upgrade all the different pieces as needed and all of that. And then Eduardo, I spent about $1,000 on the whole system. Yeah, that was about what the wireless was for me. And then with all the cameras and everything, that was about another $1,000, $1,500. But well worth it. I've had it for 3 years now, and it still stomps on everybody's stuff. At work, when I'm on video calls, everybody's stuff's always messing up, and mine's always rock solid. All right, let's check back in on the print, and we are out of time. Wow, look how cool that looks. And I did do the time lapse on this, so we'll watch the time lapse in the on the next stream, and I'll take some pictures of it or whatever. Yeah, that's going to look super cool. I'll give it to my mom for some flowers or something. She'll love it. All right, so let's wrap it up, everybody. Wow, I appreciate everybody joining today. Be sure to hit that like button on the way out. Hope everybody has a great rest of their Saturday evening and rest of the weekend. And has a great week. Have another good video for you coming up tomorrow, so be sure to watch that. And thanks for the super chat again, Lester. Appreciate that. And have a great evening, everybody. Hit that like button on the way out. Appreciate it, everybody. Bye.